What's up, guys? This is Jason back in the basement, and just wanted to do a pretty quick brain dump today. I was thinking about my past photography setups and was thinking about one of the lenses that I used to use. I'm a fan of pancake lenses, and I've always bought into a pancake lens of any system that I've ever had. So even going back to my Canon DSLR days, I had that 40 millimeter pancake. I had the 24 millimeter APS-C DSLR one. With Fuji, if I've had the 18 millimeter pancake, I currently have the 27 millimeter pancake. For Micro Four Thirds, I have the 14 millimeter pancake. So I like the compactness of a pancake lens, and it really makes your camera smaller, smaller footprint for slipping in and out of bag, and I've always been a fan of that. And for the most part, I've never had a pancake lens that was 35 millimeter equivalent though. It's either 27, 40, 38, never 35. And 35 is my all-time favorite, focal length. And only one system that I had a 35 pancake, which was also an f2, and that was the Canon EF-M 22 millimeter f2. It was for the M series camera, which includes the M6, the M50, and the M5. I had actually all of those cameras. I had all three of them: the M50, the M5, and the M6. I had them all at one point in time. And the very first lens that I bought was the 22 millimeter f2. It was a great lens because it could do it all. And that's what the pancakes that I have now don't. They can't do it all. Now, here's why. The 22 millimeter f2 had an STM motor. It had an f2 aperture. And it was a 35 millimeter equivalent on the EF-M system. So it ticked all the boxes for me to be able to shoot video and photography and be a pancake lens on a small mirrorless body. And that's was something that I don't have currently. The closest I could get is this Panasonic 14 for the Micro Four Thirds system that I have on my GX85, but Panasonic doesn't have phase detect in their Micro Four Thirds bodies. So in terms of doing good video, solo video like this on my Fuji camera, I couldn't, this wouldn't be the camera to do video like that. I could probably still get some decent clips, but it's not going to be as reliable as the Canon EF-M system. The Canon system just had great video autofocus. So in terms of having the STM motor on the 22 millimeter and having good autofocus, it was outstanding. So that was never an issue whatsoever. So, and then for Fuji, 18 millimeter f2 for Fuji, that's not a video lens. It's too loud, makes noise. Same thing with the 27 millimeter, both versions, which I've had, makes noise, can't do video well. So there's never been a system that I've had 35 good video, good photography, good f2 aperture. So if you're a Canon EF-M user, you know what I'm talking about. But also, it's now in a dead system, so it makes you think twice about if you're gonna buy it or not. I think the M5 was a great camera. I used that for a long time. I had two bodies, and I used that almost, for professional work. I really did use it. I shot weddings with it. I did events. It did eventually kind of lack in terms of the battery life and the ergonomics. So it was a little too small for like an event per se, because, holding it for a long time. But for travel, perfect for travel, And I liked, it had that funny flip down screen. So that's what I didn't like about it. But it had more in terms of comparing it to, say, the M6 and the M50. It had more controls, and so it was probably the best one. And I was hoping that they were going to make a follow-up to that was going to be kind of the marriage between the M5 and the M50 with the flip screen, with the dual dials, and really kind of step it up You know, that would have stepped it up to really be the great camera. But ultimately, that's what that Fuji XS10 ended up being for me. So it has the multiple, all the dials you need to get manual control and the flip screen. And, the ergonomics are much better with the big, nice grip that it has. So, ultimately that's what kind of moved me over, between the XT1 and the XH1, XS10. Those were kind of like the cameras that moved me out of the EF-M system to get more serious, APS-C bodies. So, but no, the Fuji, the Canon 22mm f2, that was a great lens. It's my favorite. Now I wishing and hoping that Fuji remakes the 18mm f2, make it weather resistant, and put in good autofocus like the other f2 lenses. That would be fantastic. And do a pancake version of the 23mm f2, and I'll be on it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. If you are interested in getting an old system or dead system, and that would be a lens I recommend to go get that. M series 22mm f2, fantastic lens. That's all I got today, y'all. See you on the next one.